Thanks to mass media, we tend to think that extinct animals, especially dinosaurs, were far bigger than they actually were. In movies, we often see these terrifying giant lizards doing all sorts of crazy things, like crushing metal or stopping bullets. They even outrun cars. This has led to a common belief that dinosaurs were superior to mammals in nearly every way. But is that really true? To answer this question, we've set up 9 different competitions where dinosaurs and mammals go head-to-head to see who truly comes out on top. And this is the ultimate dinosaur versus mammal showdown. The Mammal Games. The first category is one where many believe dinosaurs are guaranteed to win: physique. After all, dinosaurs still hold the record as the largest land creatures ever to exist. But if we consider overall size, mammals clearly have the advantage. Today, the largest known mammal is the blue whale, which can weigh up to 200 tons at maximum. That's roughly 3 times the weight of a tank. With that kind of mass, the blue whale easily outweighs all known dinosaurs. In terms of weight, the largest dinosaur we know of today is the Argentinosaurus, or Argentine dinosaur, with an estimated weight in adulthood ranging from 65 to 90 tons. However, when we include sauropods that are only known from partial fossils, things get a bit more interesting. Take for example the mysterious dinosaur called Bryhotchaeosaurus, a giant titanosaur from India. Information on this species is based only on bone measurements taken several decades ago, as the original bones were destroyed long ago. This makes all estimates about it highly controversial. Still, based on current estimates, this dinosaur is described as a true giant. A 2013 study even predicted that its adult weight could reach up to 110 to 170 tons, bringing it close to the blue whale. In terms of mass, still, dinosaurs don't quite clinch the gold medal here. Interestingly, even though mammals win in weight, when it comes to length and height, dinosaurs clearly dominate, especially in terms of height. Dinosaurs are nearly unmatched. That's almost a guaranteed win for them. The most impressive mammal here is the Indracotherium, also known as the giant extinct rhinoceros. When standing on all fours, it could reach up to 8 meters tall. Also known as the extinct giant rhinoceros. When standing on all fours, it reached up to 8 meters tall. If it stretched its neck upright, it could reach a height of 18 meters. Truly impressive figure. However, if we consider creatures that can reach their full length without support, then once again, the sauropod family of dinosaurs takes the crown. They are still the longest creatures ever to walk the earth. Contenders like Supersaurus and Argentinosaurus, top representatives of long-necked dinosaurs, could reach up to 40 meters in length. That length, if seen in a living animal today, would be almost unimaginable. However, there is actually a living mammal today that comes close to the size of these slender giants. And that is the blue whale we mentioned earlier. The longest individual ever recorded reached up to 34 meters. So in terms of overall size, dinosaurs and mammals are actually quite evenly matched. It's hard to declare a definite winner. But if we flip the question, who is the smallest creature, the battle gets even more intense. Especially if we focus on flying dinosaurs, with a prime example being a species of flying dinosaur, known for its strange and beautiful appearance. It had 4 wings. This species lived during the late Cretaceous period, and was discovered in China. As an adult, it was only about 34 centimeters long, and weighed less than 110 grams, roughly the weight of a kiwi fruit. Amazingly tiny. But if we include birds, which are considered direct descendants of dinosaurs, then the size can shrink even further. Some modern bird species are unbelievably small. The smallest is the Cuba bee hummingbird. It lives in Cuba and parts of Central America like Nicaragua. This tiny creature is so small that if it zipped past you at night and bumped into you, you might just think it was an insect. You'd never guess it was actually a bird. It weighs only about 1.9 grams, lighter than many species of ants or spiders. It's even lighter than some cockroaches or jumping spiders. Its wings are so small they're barely noticeable, even smaller than a common cabbage butterfly. This makes it a true miniature creature. However, mammals are no slouch in this category either, with one incredibly impressive contender. It is currently the smallest known mammal by weight. When measured by mass, this species is widely distributed across the Eastern Hemisphere. But even if you live in those regions, there's a good chance you've never noticed it exists. Its entire body is shorter than your thumb, and its torso is narrower than the gap between your index and ring fingers. Its size is even slightly smaller than the hummingbird. In fact, an adult weighs about 8% less than its winged rival. And in truth, throughout Earth's history, there were even smaller mammals than that. One example is an ancient creature called Pseudohydramys vanhouteni, which lived about 53 million years ago. A prehistoric rodent. Although it wasn't a fairy tale goblin, its appearance reminds us of magical miniature creatures, tiny and astonishing. Its body was smaller than any known bird or mammal ever discovered. It's the smallest synapsid ever found. Its adult weight didn't exceed a single gram, which is 20% lighter than a hummingbird. But the most astonishing part is just how small this prehistoric animal was. If it lived today, you could comfortably see it curled up, snugly fitting on top of an eraser. Absolutely unbelievable. And because of that, mammals win the smallest creature category by a wide margin. But in the next round, teeth. Luck was no longer on the mammal's side. Here, we're not talking about tooth size, but quantity. It's true that many mammals have quite a crowded mouth. A great example is the African mole shrew, which, in some individuals, can grow up to 100 teeth. These teeth help it crush termites and ants, making it the land mammal with the most teeth ever recorded. However, when we move into aquatic environments, the competition gets much tougher. Many species of whales also boast massive tooth counts. Several members of the dolphin family have well over 100 teeth. Most notable is the spinner dolphin, which can have over 200 teeth. These toothy beasts live in shallow tropical seas all around the world, and currently hold the record for the most teeth of any mammal ever known. Each side of their jaws, upper and lower, can hold up to 60 sharp teeth, making their mouths true arsenals. That proves some mammals do have extremely impressive teeth. However, overall, dinosaurs easily crush the competition in this category. In fact, thousands of dinosaur species have been recorded, with over 300 teeth. One standout example is the Nigersaurus, a member of the sauropod group. Long-necked dinosaurs, with a wide mouth holding over 500 teeth. A member of the sauropod group. The long-necked dinosaurs, its wide mouth held over 500 teeth, all evolved specifically for low-level grazing. At ground height, what's interesting is that these teeth weren't randomly arranged, but followed a structured layout known as a tooth battery. This tooth battery system was incredibly common among dinosaurs, especially among hadrosaurs and ceratopsians, like Hadrosauridae and Ceratopsidae. Some species even reached staggering numbers of teeth. Take Triceratops for example, the three-horned dinosaur. It's believed to have had up to 800 teeth, functioning at once in its mouth. But the true king of the tooth count has to be the Hadrosauridae group. These dinosaurs had multiple layers of teeth, sometimes totaling over 1,000. A prime example is Edmontosaurus, one of the most notable duck-billed dinosaurs, with a tooth count more than 5 times that of the spinner dolphin, and 31 times more than a human. There's no doubt about it. Duck-billed dinosaurs are the absolute champions of tooth quantity. But it's not just about how many teeth you have, it's about what you can do with them. That brings us to the next event, bite force, also known as jaw strength. And when we talk about bite force, of course, we have to start with the dinosaurs. Their lineup includes one heavyweight contender that everyone already knows, the Tyrannosaurus rex. This apex predator was the ultimate beast in every sense, boasting a long list of legendary titles, one of which was having the strongest bite of any dinosaur ever. Even juvenile T-Rexes already had an impressive bite. Studies show that young T-Rex bite force could reach 5,640 newtons, comparable to the strength of hyenas and crocodiles. But as they matured, things became far more terrifying. An adult T-Rex could deliver a bite force 10 times stronger than its juvenile form. Calculations show its bite could exceed 50,000 newtons. Stronger than the thrust of some jet engines. With power like that, it's no surprise that most mammals simply can't compete. Among land mammals, the hippo has the strongest bite force, clocking in at around 8,000 newtons. But when we look at marine mammals, things start to look a little better. Species like the pygmy sperm whale and the killer whale, or orca, are top predators in their habitats. Among them, the pygmy sperm whale has a smaller body and thus a weaker bite, around 11,000 newtons, similar to that of the Spinosaurus. The orca, being much larger, can reach up to 20,000 newtons of bite force. That brings mammals closer to the T-Rex, but not quite past it. So in the bite force category, dinosaurs still take the win. Ironically though, in the next category, tooth size, dinosaurs fall behind. Once again, the T-Rex represents Team Dinosaur, with teeth as long as 30 centimeters, about the length of a ruler. These massive teeth allowed it to pierce through skin and muscle of multi-ton prey, heavy-duty stuff. But in the tooth length category, a mammal takes the crown. The elephant's tusks. These iconic tusks are actually modified incisors that never stop growing, and in adult elephants, tusks can reach up to 3.5 meters long. That's 11 times the length of a T-Rex's longest tooth, and that's still nothing compared to ancient elephants. Species like Paleoloxodon and Stegodon, prehistoric giants, had tusks over 5 meters long. Of course, you might wonder, should tusks really count as teeth? After all, teeth are usually for chewing, while tusks are more for display, or as weapons. But even if we exclude tusks, the hippo can still claim the win for mammals. Hippos have massive incisors and canines, often called tusks, but they're used for actual biting, especially during territorial battles. A hippo's canines are twice as long as T-Rex's teeth. The largest ever recorded was as long as a standard golf club. And when it comes to horn length, dinosaurs also lose the round, even though species like Triceratops are famous for their giant horns, and were undisputed horn champions of dinosaurs. There's a mammal even more impressive, the water buffalo. Buffalo are widespread across the eastern hemisphere, and their horn sizes vary greatly by breed. Typically, a buffalo's horn is about half the length of Triceratops' horn, on average, but in some older buffalo individuals, horns can grow up to 1.5 meters long. That's 25% longer than the record horn of Triceratops. In fact, a buffalo with such horns was recorded hunted in 1955, with each horn measuring up to 2 meters long, taller than an American football player. However, no matter how big your teeth or horns are, if you can't catch your prey, they're just useless decorations. And so, we arrive at the final question. Who's the faster runner? Dinosaurs or mammals? The key matchup is between the ostrich-like dinosaur, Ornithomimus, and the cheetah. One's a biped, the other a quadruped. But both are undeniably lightning fast. Among dinosaurs, the top sprinter is Gallimimus, which could reach speeds of 80 kilometers per hour, twice the top speed of Usain Bolt. But even that isn't enough to outrun a cheetah, the fastest land animal, reaching speeds of up to 128 kilometers per hour. Faster than most trains in the US, and fast enough to get a speeding ticket on the highway. However, if we don't just consider running speed, but total movement speed overall, dinosaurs have one last trump card: birds. Today, there are over 10,000 bird species on Earth, many of which are evolutionarily perfected for flight, and some of them reach incredible speeds. The fastest of them all is the peregrine falcon, a bird of prey famous for its high-speed dive attacks. When hunting, its diving speed can reach up to 389 kilometers per hour. With that performance, the peregrine falcon holds the title of the fastest moving animal on Earth, earning dinosaurs the winning point in the speed round.